Good morning. So, how about this Russell Brand thing, huh? They're trying to take him down, man. They're trying to take him down with the same old nonsense that they use against everybody that has a voice who repeats a message that goes against the narrative. That squeak thing, by the way, that's ever since that I had that axle issue, so I'm sure while the brake was holding the axle in from falling out of the rear end of my truck after Hooper's debacle, something happened there. Something got a little rubbed in a funny way. It only happens when I first get in the truck, when I go down that hill and maybe at the stop sign, then it goes away. You never hear it for the rest of the day. So it's not that serious, but I do need to pull the wheels and eyeball it one of these days. Anyhow, back to the Russell Brand thing. So you know what's going on. I mean, look, that guy had a good time, I'm sure, and hundreds of women and everything else. Me too, but and I've actually had a similar situation where people have told lies. I might even tell a couple of those stories. But this guy, this is not a guy that I was ever a big fan of back in the day. When he first appeared on the scene, a little too obnoxious for me. The energy is a little bit too weird for me. And I can't give you an example because I don't remember everything from the time period. But I do remember not liking the guy that much. I guess this would be back in the 90s. I don't know. I don't even know when he was doing his thing, when he was super big. All I know is I didn't have a good vibe on him because I know that I heard him say some things that I was like, that's just stupid. Whatever. And he always looked like he needed a shower, But he got red-pilled along the way. Something happened. He smartened up. He must have discovered that he was saying some things that weren't true. He probably got called out on it. He didn't like discovering that he had said some things that weren't true. He has a conscience. He seems like a pretty righteous character. And I think he just realized, like, wow, I've got people listen to what I'm saying. Maybe I should make sure what I say is the truth. And he woke up in the positive manner, and he started researching things before he expounded upon it to the public, which led him down the path of truth. It woke him up. So welcome to being awake, man, Russell Brand. And now that he's got millions of followers and he's got this message out there every day about, being free, speaking the truth, doing your research, all these things, outing all the crazy nonsense that's going on, speaking against the serum that they were pumping into people. It's so crazy. All these people, I feel so bad that we're forced to get this shot thing, and then next thing you know, people are having heart attacks, all kinds of issues, but they're not, if they're on the public stage and all of a sudden they're having heart attacks, they don't want to talk about the fact that 3 months earlier they got a shot, But Brand is just, what's going on here. And when this was happening with the former president, and all the allegations were coming out about him, which are all false, that hashtag Me Too thing came out. And I spoke about it then. And a bunch of my friends came out of the woodwork and private messaged me and called me, sent me emails to tell me their personal stories. One friend of mine is somewhat, in the public eye back east. I don't want to give anything away here. But he had a horror story of this, where this woman came into his life and accused him of rape and all kinds of nonsense. None of it was true. She was just upset because she came into his life and he realized she was crazy, and he distanced himself from her, and she just started spreading lies, which, a lot of women will do that. Look, it's actually rare. I know I'm going to piss a lot of women off here, but it's rare that you meet really cool women who don't allow their emotions to get the better of them. I mean, I got to tell you, I don't mean to badmouth women. It might sound like I am. I love women because I don't love men in that way. So, but I got to tell you, man, I've known a lot of women in my life that will just imagine something, or they'll have a dream, or they're just home doing something, and then they'll imagine you doing something that pisses them off that you've never done. It's just the thing that's in their mind, but they get so upset over what they invented in their mind that they still emotionally take it out on you the next time they see you. All right, that's crazy. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man. My own mother lied. She was a huge liar. I remember when I was a kid, and I was probably around 10 years old, my mom had some girlfriends over her house. And I was in the house farting around and I was eavesdropping. Damn straight I was listening. Because as a kid, that's what you do. That's how you learn stuff. You know, there's a little spy tradecraft there, you know. And I heard what these women were saying about their husbands, and they were just bad-mouthing their husbands. And then, boy, I'll tell you what, man, they made these guys sound pretty bad. And then my mom chimes in and is just lying just to be part of the conversation. I lived in the house. I know what's going on. She was just making crap up about my dad. It was nuts. But that's one of my first lessons of, oh. And keep in mind, you know, at that point, I was already thinking about all the lies that were told as kids. I'll go off on a tangent here, as you know I'm prone to. And I'll tell you, one of the best lies that you tell your kid is the Santa Claus thing, right? So as a little kid, you're like, Santa Claus, this is awesome. Oh my God, hope, joy, all this stuff. And it's an amazing time of the year. And then one day, you know, you find out it's not true. Oh, it's devastating, man. But if you got good parents, you know, which was actually one of the good things that my mom did at that time. She's like, well, yeah, that's how it is, you know, but look how much fun you had and how much fun it is. And here's the thing, we can't spoil it for your sister. We can't spoil it for your little sister, so we have to keep this myth alive with her, you know, because look at all the joy she gets from it. Look at all the joy she gets from it. So that, what happens is you're lied to, you enjoy all this fun thinking, and then you discover the truth and you're crushed by it, but then you get to be an adult. You get to, like, this is like the lie of Santa Claus is one of your first forays into adulthood, because you learn that we lie to one another for their benefit. And then, you know, so it's just a crazy thing. That whole thing really came to head after my parents separated, and there was that first Christmas where I'm sleeping, right? It's Christmas Eve. Eventually we all go to bed, and I must have been like 13 or something. 13, yeah. And my mom wakes me up in the middle of the night. She says, you got to put the stuff together for Christmas. So there was a Barbie dream house, and which was huge, and a lot of parts. I'm 13. But as you know, I had my own tools already. So I had to put together a Barbie dream house, and then my baby sister, Aileen, I had to build her like a whole kitchen, like a miniature kitchen that was all metal, it was crazy. You know, a stove, sink thing, and a refrigerator, and all this crazy stuff. I was up all night. I think I got to bed at like, you know, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning or something, and I'm up in the attic at this point, and that's where I put my room. And my sisters come upstairs to wake me up. Michael, Santa was here, Santa Claus was here, it's Christmas, get up, get up, get up. And I'm just in bed like, yeah, I'll be down there later. So that was, you know, that's when it hits you, like, wow, what your parents have gone through your whole life up until that point, you know. Anyhow, this whole Russell Brand thing and women and lying and everything else, it's insane. We're supposed to believe what every woman says. Now here's the point I really wanted to make about this, because I saw something this morning on JP Spears put a thing up there, and he showed a video talking about this, and some other guy posted a video of this woman who was approached by this journal. Here's the crazy thing that blows my friggin' mind. It's investigative journalism. All of a sudden, they will come out of the woodwork and make all kinds of phone calls and try to create this narrative to take somebody down. But they don't use those same techniques to investigate the big stories, like the truth behind things. It's like they're strictly about propaganda and taking people down in an effort to support a narrative that brainwashes us all into nonsense and making us hate one another and division, and making us support things that are actually ultimately horrible for us, and they're going to turn this country into a third world country and everything else. That's their mission now. So if you're out there telling the truth about something and you start getting big numbers, boom, the hammer's going to come down, man, and they're going to accuse you of rape. That's what they're going to do. That story's going to come out there. So it's crazy. What I want to know is what about these women? Like, why, if it's not true, right? What do they do to get these women to say it? Or what I think is more probable is that they get them to talk about the story. The journalist listens to the story from the women. He concocts a narrative and he words it in a way that makes it sound like this happened, when in reality it didn't. It might have been one little thing. They get her, they ask her the right kinds of questions to get her to say something that's slightly negative that can then be twisted and, molded in this thing. Because it's not about the truth. It's about getting people to shut him off so you don't listen to him. And this happens all the time. You know this with the former president, right? There's a lot of people that still believe and have formulated an opinion about him based upon total lies that have been proven to be false. But they don't know they've been proven to be false because all they know is what they first hear. And the first thing they hear is the thing that they latch onto. And that's it. They believe that, and that's all it is. If it's in a newspaper, if they see it on the idiot box or on a podcast or something, it has to be true. Boom. If they hear it more than once repeated, it absolutely is the truth to them. I've been saying this for years already. There's that great meme, you've seen it, like there's these two news people and they say something and then the screen splits and it's them and two others and then they say the exact same words and the screen keeps dividing. Before you know it, there's like 80 screens and all in unison, they're saying the same thing the same way. That's the definition of programming, man. So if you're hearing that throughout the day and then you turn on late night television, which has become it's all the same people, man. They're being told what to say or who to go after or whatever. You hear the same message there before you go to bed. Well, they're just reinforcing your mind with bullshit, right? That's what that is. It's 100% programming. So back to my thing is seems like nobody investigates the women, even if they are saying that it happened. How are they getting these women to do? I mean, what I'm thinking is these women are getting something out of it. Because if it's not true, as it wasn't true for other people, and I'm not going to get into these previous cases, but you've been around long enough, you know who these people are that they go after, and it turns out to be totally false. So, or it's a mundane thing. Used to be a mundane thing. People would call it, now everything's sexual harassment. And I get it. It's not nice to, whatever. But the point is saying something that's untoward today that wasn't when I was coming up, where everybody was accepting, that's how it is. That's human nature. Boys will be boys, that sort of thing. And by the way, go in the service sometime. Hang out with some female Marines. All right, you want to hear some stuff. Or you get a bunch of women together in any kind of like activity that's physical or anything. It's way worse. And women say way worse things about men when they're together talking. I know this to be true. But I'm just saying, what are the women getting out of it who are telling the stories? Is it like, okay, I want to tell you the story, I'm getting an interview. By the way, we'll pay you $5,000 or something, or, we'll give you a gift card to something, or you're going to get notoriety. I don't know what it is. They play to those things. And keep in mind, the women, some of them, I'm not talking about all women here, but this is like they grabbing them by the thing, right? That big comment, that locker room talk that was like a 6-year-old conversation that they brought out of the woodwork weeks before an election. The former president wasn't talking about, he never said he actually did that. He was having a conversation with this guy about the types of women who come around famous men. We kind of call them whores, where I come from. That's what he's talking about. Those women will put themselves on you in such a way that you could literally grab them by their, right? That's what he said. He didn't say, I actually grabbed all these women by their, he said, you could, because that's how they'd get on you. So those kinds of women who make themselves available, easily available, to rich and famous people are doing it for a reason, right? They want to be part of that rich and fame or get something out of it for themselves. And so when you are in that world, you are bombarded by those types of women. All the good ones are taken. These are the other ones. They're in this world for themselves, what they can get out of it, the easy life, all that sort of thing. So they make themselves presentable, and they try to do whatever they can do to get this rich, famous person. But, they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or whatever. I have all kinds of other issues. And when the dude, especially when he's young, he's going to be like, oh, this is awesome. Oh, yeah, this is great. Oh, sure, absolutely. Whoa, another one? Okay, boom. Bring in the next one. That's how it is, man. And they don't have to work hard to have those experiences. Women are just giving themselves to them. So these are who these girls were. And now it's decades later, and they're still going to try to get something out of the guy. You understand what I'm saying? You just have to think about it in all these terms, If it's true, if any of these allegations are true, then okay, he's a bad guy, or he was a bad guy, and if you got to punish him, fine. But I think it's going to turn out to not be true. Unfortunately, the way it works is, as I already demonstrated a few minutes ago, it won't matter if it's not true. To the large majority, and keep in mind, I don't even know what outlets are reporting on this because I'm not really paying that much attention to it. I saw Russell Brand's thing, and I saw the JP Spears thing. I'm trying not to get involved in this stuff. Doing the radio show with Matt is making me more aware, like, oh, I guess I got to pay attention to some of the stuff that's going on now, so I have an opinion on it if I'm on the show again. I keep waiting for a phone call like, yeah, Mike, we don't need you this week. As that's going to come any day now, I'm sure. So that's part of the reason why I'm thinking about it. But again, the truth always comes out later. But the people who are believing the lie never care about the truth later. It's very strange. I think there's a psychological thing too, and I think that's what turned Russell Brand around. I think that if you've gone out repeating lies, right? Oh, can you believe he did this? Oh man, of course he did it. Look at the kind of guy he is. Of course he did it. Da, 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 da. And then later, months later, you hear something or you see something that contradicts what you were told, that you already repeated 150 times. There's something in your brain where you got to be like, oh, I can't watch that. I can't. I don't want to correct myself. That would be me admitting I was wrong, or that I just spread rumors that were untrue. Oh my God. I mean, like, Matt, you could do that calculation within a second in your mind that, do I have to call 150 people that I repeated these lies to and be like, dude, have you seen? Yeah, I'm sorry I said that. I can't believe I just repeated these lies and they're totally untrue now. Most people don't do that. I do that. The people I'm friends with, they're the types of people that will do that. Yeah. So, you understand what I'm saying. You know what's going on here. If you're watching me, there's something turning in your brain that's working. Or you just like looking at my face or something. That's it for now. Have a good day. Oh, look. Was the light? Ooh, the light's coming in the lens. I'm so pro. Be better people. Think of yourself as an ambassador for the human race. You know what I mean? Every time you meet a new person, You know, try to be a good version of yourself, but don't fake it either. That's another problem we all have, pretending that you're something that you're not. You know, try to be honest, but work on being better. I've been working on it. You should be a work in progress, constantly trying to make yourself better. And that all starts with being truthful and being kind and being respectful and all those big things, all those important things that your parents should have taught you. Anyhow, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.